Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment of C.A.B.S. It's C.A.B.S. 10. Coming up here, what we've got, as near close as we can get to an OG by Canyon standards, LoLo. It came from the Workbench, volume 29. Brazin HiLow chassis, artificial too-low gearbox. That is how you get low. Is it going to lift? No, it's not going to lift at all. It's LoLo. LoLo went through a little bit of iterative stuff in terms of shocks. Some of the electronics have been ruffled around a little bit. There's currently a Holmes Revolver 2200 in there. It's a 3S all-day fella. We've got the good old Flash Hobby up on the Mias axle. Megalithics with the shimmed green silicone inserts. LoLo's just good at stuff. Been around since 23. Competitor on the day. The poor guy, one of the S4 comp pin clan, Terence, who is, for those unaware, the fat red bird from Angry Birds, because when I started cutting on that J Concepts tucked body, I was like, why is it so fat? It's like an inch wider than the others, and it has big tucks at the end, so it looks even fatter in the middle. Look how big his head looks. He's got a big old head. Most cabs taper down at the cab quite a bit. Oh, Terence. Terence made a decision. Terence made a decision early on because LoLo operates purely off of the build. They don't have tools. Terence has disadvantages up against LoLo on paper, in practice. LoLo, portals. Terence, straight axles. LoLo, servo on axle, very LCG gearbox, very small, outrunner. Terence, the only chassis mounted steering 10 Pro in the fleet, because it falls into that gotta catch 'em all relationship, because the AR45, the 10 Pro axle, I think they call it the AR45P. No, that's the portal. Whatever they call I know it's got 45 Pro, 45 Pro, whatever they call them, it has the best implementation of BTA steering. Like, the servo positioning is perfect. But we didn't have a chassis mounted steering one, so we had to build a chassis mounted steering one. As such, he is still fitted with the stock 10 Pro gearbox, which really falls into the heritage and tradition of Axial making really terrible gearboxes. The LCXU is the only other Axial gearbox that runs in the whole fleet, and the LCXU, I could present a pretty compelling argument that it is the best gearbox Axial currently makes, and perhaps ever made. So the 10 Pro gearbox does not get a lot of love here. We have two of them. They are both with the bird fellas. They are in Terence, who is the red bird, and they are in Bluebird, who is named Bluebird. They are the only two that run that gearbox because it's overcomplicated, it's overwrought, it's ridiculous. I don't really care for it on straight axles, so we're gonna see how Terence goes as the day goes on. He is fairly early in the tuning phase. As was mentioned, LoLo has been here for some time. LoLo is pretty well sorted out and usually in the top of the field when it comes to class 2s. Yeah, it's just more sorted out, you know. We got there. And then we come to a thing. Did LoLo get a score in C.A.B.S. 4? Were we already scoring? I don't remember. That's the beauty of this. If we were, I don't remember the score. If I didn't eat the same thing for breakfast every day, I wouldn't remember what I ate for breakfast. So, LoLo is better on the Sidehill than Terence, for whatever reason. It could be the silicones versus just the open cell single stage in Terence. So we're going to go 5.4. I'm going to go 5.4. And did I complete the thought about the selectable overdrive, or did I go on a rant about the 10 Pro Gearbox? Terence has opted to run the full day locked in the 40%. Choosing between 0 and 40, he opted for 40. So he will not be using selectable, so he's not going to take the point dock on that. Whether or not we give him a bonus point for having CMS, we haven't discussed that before. But this game is fluid, and we make up the rules as we go along. So, while Terence is fairly new, but underappreciated, it came from the live stream initiation, so he didn't even get his own series. He's just thrown into a playlist called the 10 Profiles with Rainbird and Bluebird and the other 10 Pro birds. Switching back and forth between portals and straights is proving to be somewhat mind-bending on the day. I have found that I strongly prefer the 10 Pro Gearbox when paired with portals. Now see, this is that instance where the 40% is shining like a diamond right now. Oh, like he reached over and poked it off for no real reason. And Terence, like all of the birds, he fights against the overstability inherent to the 10 Pro platform. Like the geo is oriented as such. Like you feel overplanted. I gotta tell you, in terms of just like how does the maneuvering feel, I mean, good slide right there, coming around, got it bumped a little, but it's just, LoLo is just easier to put in the line you choose. Yeah, that 40% with the whip around right there. And a pin guy can get away with 40%. Like, gonna hang him out right there. Need to do a little swing around. I feel edge to LoLo here, but it's not like Terence feels like he's falling apart. Right through there, whoop, through that midsection, the overstable nature of the 10 Pro was more readily apparent there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Don't remember. Oh, they're just chav techs, fake draft techs under LoLo. They're doing it. Yeah, there is definitely something to be said for how manipulable he feels. Like, Terence feels great. Just, we have weaknesses, basically. It was genuinely surprising to see LoLo better on the side hill. Oh, right there, though. Yeah. Little belly pivot because we're on straights. Yeah, this is a give and take section right here, and there is the forgiveness, the like allowing you to get away with more. Terence has that. In moments where LoLo is going to cut away, Terence is like, nah, I'm too overstable for that. Yeah. And there are moments when you feel his straight axles, when you feel the lesser ground clearance, you feel it a lot. More than you feel the additional height. Like the CG is going to be higher. No, it isn't. The CGs are going to be pretty close because that Gearbox and CMS, they're more even than you would think. And I think they did similarly well here in terms of maneuverability. A lot of the fallbacks are setting down one controller and picking up the other because these two are really far apart in terms of their overall behaviors. So I'm going to say 9-8, 4 points each here. Not quite that crispness that I want to see from either. And I think that's a little bit of what's in Terence's DNA and a little bit of that green, those Injora green silicones. They work great, and you find that fall off point where they're kind of holding you back. He needs some sort of super fancy insert, but then we have to put on brass to make up for, you know what, we just leave it alone. I just had to pick them up one in each hand to carry them over station to station. You know, we're working on quick transition here. They feel very, very close in terms of weight. There's that megalithic forward drive, and then we've got megalithic forward drive dovetailing perfectly into the flywheel effect of the silicone. It's going to be tough to get out of this because that steering attitude is going to, you see it getting that front end lighter, lighter, lighter. Will it stay down enough? Nope, it's going to go past the point. Once we get the tire over that lip, the megalithic takes over. It is a perhaps adversarial, it's a little bit of an adversarial relationship between the silicone and the megalithic. Megalithic really thin sidewall, very supple, green compound. Green on green, crime is real. They work really great, and then there's a point where the traction is getting past it. I just kind of wanted to stay into that to see what he was going to do. I want to see what we can do with the 40%, and mostly what we're going to do is just pivot on the pumpkin. I can't blame that entry line on Terence. He didn't really pick it. It's just more difficult to get him into the placement, not because of anything like about his DNA other than straight axled. Like, see, he'll lift it and oh, he'll lift it and pretty much hold it. His geo is trying. It's doing its very best. Okay, there's that spot. And then what happens is right here, got to get the second one. I think, and this is speculation based on some amount of experience. Terence will get there at about the same degree of accuracy, but you have to be far more precise. We got to use lower throttle input. We got to be cognizant of his bigness in the middle. That gearbox, see, we keep it down real nice and slow. If you give him too much pep, he gets a little wild on you. And let's be fair. I would say, unless LoLo can show me something amazing here, it's a similar take. They go about it differently, but they arrive at the same destination. We'll try the same amount of LoLo creep here. Now, what are we going to get that lift? If we get it real slow, will it keep that front down? There's that action. There's that action. Get it over. Nope. No. part of me wants to say, like, the scoring, don't think about the scoring of a max 25. We're not running them all on the same day. Too much time passes between each. So they are scored day by day. If I was viewing every other competitor that's run, that's probably 3s. That's probably a fairly average performance through there. But on the day, I'm going to give them both 3s. Yeah, it's fair. They've got to be 3s. It's 12-11. You know how you get the wibbly wobbly tire? Terence has got a wibbly wobbler driver rear, but it looks like the rim is wobbling too. I might have bent an axle at some point. If he can get that. That was a fantastic catch, honestly. And 10 Pro platform, whether the weight is on the axle for the steering or on the chassis, they descend well. Rainbird his oldest brother has got so much weight pulled off of him that Rainbird descends a little scarily, but as a Geo, they all descend pretty well. Again, portal clearance is going to help you out right up until it doesn't. He's swinging a little wide, but see, we can pull that rear through. It was hanging and then it stopped, and then we megalithic our way through here. At no point did we get on any attempted green on green crime. And there you see the differential in descending. Flywheel effect being absolutely really real. As soon as I reduced throttle a little too much, let off a little too much throttle, that rear weight just came swinging down like a hammer. The most difficult part for this for Terence might be the entry, as we've got to get straight axles through. There we go. We get in. No side lug on the S4 pin. Could help. You say to yourself, gee, I wonder how he bends axles. It's a little bit of a rejection. That's what Waterfall does. I have to get a cleaner entry line on him to know what we're looking at. It's going to be a bit easier to get in for him, I think. And it is. All right, megalithics. Oh, he's really close. Oh. Come on. He's getting the shuttle. I feel like I might have doomed him. I cut back on the steer just a fraction of a moment too soon. Getting kind of pushed around here. I'm trying to kind of bully it. I'm trying to bully it back into position, and the Waterfall will not be bullied. The finish is where the Waterfall really shows itself. There we go. Okay. I want to get more left hand. Don't drop in. Don't drop in. He's got his windshield buried in right there. That's the part I didn't want to drop in at. Nope, keep it down. Keep it down. Give me a little bit of something. Oh. I thought it was going to be mutually assured destruction there for a second. He's got a really smooth bump. There's so many gears in that gearbox, it's not really surprising. See, it's windshield. And trying to get around it. Okay, all right, hold on. We just bent the body into an impossible shape. I'm trying to pretzel it. All right, let's try to get over this point so that the body is clear. There we go. Now we need driver rear to not betray us. We need it to bite over. There's a little overhang. There's a step pull me onto that step. It's crazy to say, but I could do for a little side lug right now. Okay, don't fall back. Don't fall back. No, 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 no. You're working against yourself. Help him out. See, Terence is a good guy. He's a good guy. He's an angry bird, but he's a good guy. I think both of these have equal chance of making this, honestly. I'd go 4-4 on each. They both look great across the face. I have said in the past that basically getting a 5 here is clearing it. And you get to right there. You feel so good. And then it pushes you out. Come on. Come on. The Waterfall remains, in C.A.B.S terms, undefeated. I don't think anybody in a competitive situation has made it. 4 apiece, 16-15, going to Tumbledore. I feel okay about that. Because let's say it like it is. I like to go into Tumbledore within a 1 point, plus or minus 1 point margin. I like to see a chance of a tie. Like, I would love them all to be equally good and just different approaches, different routes to the same destination. Sadly, that is not how it works out. Like, you've got these incidental combinations of parts. We have very few rigs here that are either as was intended or as they would be out of the box. They all get flavor, and if we've learned anything from previous episodes, it's that small changes can be hugely impactful. The Rattler got a shock change and went 5 millimeters shorter on shocks and basically got better at everything. It was a net sum good from a simple shock change. A testament to how good a pin is that this pin, on the foam that came with this pin, is very nearly as good as a megalithic. It's not as good, but it's really close. And beating the S4 comp pin from the perspective of performance per dollar is difficult, if not impossible. Yeah, I have, there's some real wobbles going on. I'm gonna have to take a look at him. You've got to be a little more careful with the line selection. And I genuinely believe that the 40% could be all of that. He's got double the net underdrive overdrive that LoLo has. LoLo, the Tulo has 30% feeding into the rear, and there's either an 827 in the rear axle or an 827 or an 833 in the front axle. It's one or the other, because he's net 20. Terence has the 40%, the 0-40, and we're locked in the 40. So he descends, well, better than one would anticipate on 40%, and he side hills well, better than one would anticipate on 40%, because the 10 Pro Geo is overstable. Overstable is a thing. The 10 Pro is overstable. I mean, it is. We've tested a couple, and a big part about it is I mean, this is how I became a person who love-hates the 10 Pro. Dialing in stability to a geometry is significantly more work than dialing it out. You can dial it out with money. You've got to use math, experimentation, and trial and error to dial it in. Oh, I see. Is it going to raise? If I recall, Lolo's pretty good at this maneuver. That's just pretty good. I have them both at this juncture. Let's see the drop here. As soon as you let off that, there is a difference between a 2200 revolver and a 1200 Fusion SE. As soon as you let off the throttle too much, and again, that is tunable as well. I could tweak that with curves in the radio so that I can't, or by programming the speed control. Can make it a little softer, make that drag brake ramp a little softer. I keep forgetting. He needs the real slow touch. Microphone will do a great job of canceling this out. I can hear it. We're getting into a mechanical up there. I think it's the front edge of his skid slash rail, a little bit of the rail. I don't think it's the slider. Doesn't feel like the slider to me. There's a little point. It's right above the very tip of his passenger side front corner of the bumper. There's a little, like I'm drawing a line in the air. There's a little right here. It goes bip bip. Right. It's not the bip. It's the bip. Where there's this little V, this little winged V. The chassis rail gets in there and it gets stuck. And LoLo portals through that. Terence doesn't have the ability to portal through that. So he's going to have to try if he can get up and grab. But now you see passenger rear is under that other little notch. So we're hoping the pin will pull us over that notch. A little more, a little more. Like you see, the increased throttle isn't what is getting us the pachinko machine rejection down the face of the hill. He has got this. It's a matter of finding the spot where we can keep all the mechanicals clear. For whatever reason, maybe it's less side lug, so we've got less grippiness on the sidewall. It's the CG, the orientation, the link placements. He's easier to snake his way up the middle. It's just when we get to the close, right here. And I did design it this way. So now we have a bias on passenger rear. So I feel it pivoting on that tire and the front getting light. So if he was running a megalithic, he'd be ruined right here. Because that big sidewall on the Meg would be grabbing in. If we find the spot where we don't mechanical, he just goes. But so, yeah, I mean, you have to say we're a point up. I would be calling it 4-3 right now. Need to get, nope. All right, you got a chance to get a point back, which means if Terence does this well, oh, it was close on the blind side. Oh, hook it back. Yes. Finish it. There you go. All right, 4-4. I'd go 4-4. I get this feeling LoLo will not manage that as well. I don't think portals are that much of an advantage on the blind side. Watch him just clean it. Just through like an arrow and prove me wrong. Hook the edge. Oh! Got flywheeled a little bit. Yeah. They did it equally well. So the differential here is, once again, we have seen this before. While they're both up at the top of the mountain, it's that center cut. The center cut is the margin of victory more often than it isn't, and it's nothing immediately addressable in Terence's case. Like, obviously, we take the gearbox out. You know, we put something lighter in there, which would drop a mountain of sprung weight out of him. It pulls half a pound if you put a Creeper T transfer case in the middle and then just leave him at 30. Which, honestly, after watching this, but then we've built Bluebird again. I mean, we've built Rainbird again. And that's not the goal. We've built CMS Rainbird, and then Rainbird against Terence. Rainbird would probably win because he's lighter and he's got BTA and he has those little bit of advantages. So how do we address the final point differential, which, if am I thinking right? What did I say? I said 12-11 and then 4 each, so 16-15, and then 4 each, so 20-19. I'm comfortable with 2019. We could squeak a point here or there, right? We can get LoLo to be a 22-23 rig all day at the expense of just money. We get a bespoke, custom tailored 3D printed insert, and we replace the silicone weight with brass weight. He'll be better. To the tune of probably $150. That's $50 a point, let's say. Terence over there sitting on 19. He needs a pin, but it might just be a different pin that's a little bit taller, get us closer to a 475, maybe something a little wider, or some tire that just doesn't have pronounced sidewall lug. I don't know immediately how to address the fact that he augers his front end in a little bit without changing his DNA, you know, without changing him fundamentally. And he's close. It's not like 2019 are awful. It just, they're in this danger zone of, if you make enough changes, you can ruin that which you've already established. So I'm just going to say that I don't forecast any change. Like, I don't feel like Terence needs more front axle weight. I don't feel like LoLo needs any suspension changes put into place. They have to work around what they are, and we will make those small incremental changes as we go. Because, as I said, it's the smallest changes which can turn out to be the most impactful. It might be a damping right. It might be one hole in link and or shock position. We won't know until we know. But we do know that LoLo won today. I don't remember who won in 4. I don't remember who ran in 4. Other than LoLo, I don't remember who LoLo's competition was. So, see, didn't cut it. So I managed to keep it together on that one. Terence will drive out to close this one out. LoLo, everyone involved, we all thank you so much for joining us here in the Canyon for another installment of C.A.B.S. We look forward to seeing you again. Even with 40% overdrive, that just descends better. It just does. We could almost call it a tie, but once again, the center cut and all the tumbles that Terence took will leave us where we are. Thank you so much, everybody. Please tune in for whatever we have next. In between now and then, please, one and all, do your very best. Have a good winter. But we'll see you again here from the Canyon with this, that, and the other things. Have a good one, everybody.